Ngemm.
We got a Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus right now, and we're gonna review, and I'm gonna read the specs, and you'll see if it's worth buying. And this just came out a few months ago, and it's running Android 9, and I'm sure a lot of you know that there's already an Android 10 on the Pixel phones, so it's not running that yet, but regardless, it's the biggest and most powerful phone that Samsung has ever put out. So this is obviously what we expect from a flagship phone from Samsung. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox it and see what it looks like. So right away we get the box with the phone case and all the paperwork, as you can see there. That's the clear phone, and that's the paperwork and whatnot. As you can see there, that's the manual. Got all the languages, warranty card and all that jazz. Just put that aside. And there you see the beautiful Galaxy Note 10 Plus with the Infinity O display. And it's got the pinhole camera there. And it's an improvement from a few phones before it, and I say it's an upgrade, a step up from the notch you get from the Huawei and the iPhones of the past. So I'm just gonna turn this on here, and while that's booting up, we take a look inside the box, and that's the power brick, and it says supercharging. I don't know if you can see that. It says super fast charging, and obviously it's a type C, and speaking of which, that's the cable. I just pulled this out here. So that's the type C charging cable. So let's put that there, and they even have they included a pair of earbuds as well. So, and that's the SIM toolkit. And let's just put that aside, and let's get to the meaty interior of the box. So this is the phone itself. It's got actually 5 cameras because of the Note Plus. So you got 3 there and 2 extra sensors there. You won't get these 2 extra sensors on the regular Note 10. Alright, so this is a side-by-side comparison of the Note 10 Plus and its predecessor, the Note 9. So as you can see, it's slightly bigger in size, and the screen to body ratio is way bigger, and you get a bigger display, and you can see the chin is half the size, and you can barely notice the bezel. So the camera builds are way different. The Note 9 has a fingerprint scanner on the back beside of the flash, and whereas the Note 10 has a in-display fingerprint scanner. So it leaves room for these 2 extra sensors on the Note 10 Plus, and all in all, a major upgrade. So if you're thinking of trading in your Note 9 for a Note 10 Plus, then I think that's a good move, and it's worth the price. Alright, so we already put in the SIM card and everything. We set it up, and let's get into it. So if you swipe to the right, you get Bixby, the voice assistant for One UI, and you see the Play Store there, all the Google apps, Gmail, Drive, Photos, Maps, all that. And it's basically the regular Android experience you'd get from any Android phones. So it's a pretty responsive display, and it's not heavy at all. It's like really smooth. So you just swipe down for the notification. This is way more powerful compared to the previous model, which is the Galaxy Note 9. And you're probably looking into buying this phone because of the RAM, which is 12 gigabytes of RAM. It's just crazy on a phone, but this is Samsung we're talking about here. And also, the camera is a 12 megapixel camera That's the rear camera, and it also has an ultra wide mode, and I'll show you right now. So let's get into the camera app, which is probably the first thing you'd get into when you're buying this phone. So right away we see these 3 buttons here. So this is the ultra wide mode, and this is the telephoto mode. So you get a pretty good zoom out of this. So it's I don't know if you could see, but it's the telephoto is like, it zooms in really far away. So what you're seeing is the photo captured from the rear camera, the ultra wide mode. So it pretty much captured the whole set, and yeah, it's pretty wide. You're gonna want to check that out. So now the next thing we're gonna check out is the video. So we're gonna open up a YouTube video. This is one of ours, and it's let's test the speakers. Dan kita orang akan decide siapa yang akan dapat regular dan lagi satu. So the speakers are pretty crisp. It's got some low end in there, the good bass, so it's pretty much firing from the bottom speakers, you can see here. So yeah, and yeah, the display is pretty sharp, vibrant, and pretty much a proper display. So you can pinch to fit and fill. So yeah, I mean, you pretty much don't notice the punch out hole. I mean, I think it's way better compared to the notch, if you ask me. So yeah, I think I give that a 10 out of 10. So as I mentioned before, this phone is running the One UI version 1.5, and it's running the Android 9, which is the Lollipop version. And I gotta say, it's running pretty smoothly. So because it's the Southeast Asian build of the phone, it's not running a Snapdragon. It's running the Exynos octa-core processor, and it works just fine. It's a 2.73 gigahertz processor, and I gotta say, it's not much difference if you use it as your daily driver, and you can pretty much use it as a proper phone. And not to forget the stylus, which is the S Pen. This is a significantly better version of the S Pen, because on this version of the build, it's actually a unibody construction of the pen. So it's like one whole body instead of a few components put together as of previous stylus pens. So you could multitask, and you could split screen apps. And let's say you're on Instagram and you want to open up a different app, so you just slide on the left side and you could like go through the different apps. That's the task manager or the app manager. If you want to split screen apps, you could just slide over here, the edge, and you can like split screen. As you can see here, that's the Chrome and Notes, so you can browse the internet while taking notes. So yeah, it's pretty, and you can like pop out the pen, the stylus, and you can just tap away. Pretty much that's it, and let's just run through the specs again. So we got a 4300 milliamp hour battery, which is more than enough to last the whole day, and it's even got a super fast charging. Also, the rear camera, the main camera, is pixel, and the front camera is a 10 megapixel camera, the standard for today's flagship phones. So is it worth 5,700 ringgit? I'd say yeah. So I'd like to thank our good friend Koyum for providing us this phone for today's episode, and this is his Instagram page, so why not go on over there and give a follow and tell them I sent you. And thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for more, and I'll see you guys on the next one.